Hey, welcome to the online premiere of new virtual play, Hi Stranger, which tackles the issue of suicidal thoughts and is told through the lens of online dating. Written and directed by Kristen Brookman, it stars UK actors Penelope Yeulet and Tom Lewin. All four of us are here watching along with you, and we welcome you to share your thoughts, opinions, and comments underneath in the comments box, because after the broadcast, all four of us will come together to answer any questions. Also, Kristen will be here to share with you the inspiration behind the story, and Tom and Penny will be here to answer your questions too. My name's CK. I will be your host for the evening, and this entire story is in support of CALM, Campaign Against Living Miserably. Again, we welcome you. Thank you for being here, and we hope you enjoy.
Sorry. Fuck, I'm terrible with time management.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Hi.
Hi. It's nice to meet you finally. Well, kind of.
It's nice to meet you too. So how do you want to start this? Do you like dirty talk, or do you want to see my...
Wait. What?
Oh, you said that you wanted to video, so... Oh, God. Don't laugh at me. I was just trying to... Embarrassing.
No, I'm not laughing at you. Sorry. That's awesome. Definitely on a third date.
So this is a date now?
If you can call it that. I mean, if you want it to be a date. Or we can just do that other thing.
No, a date sounds perfect. Sorry, am I interrupting?
It's like a dinner date now.
Well, I haven't got anything. You just said you wanted to video chat.
And that's code or something.
You don't use Tinder much, do you?
No, not really. Go and get some food. I've got nowhere to be.
I'm not hungry.
Come on, dinner for two.
Fine. You're very bossy, you do know that.
What have you got?
Strawberries.
On dessert already?
Well, I don't know how this is gonna go.
Ouch. So, how's your day been today?
Small talk. Okay. Well, earlier...
Wait, let me come up with something better then.
Bring it on.
Would you rather
Oh
be...
my God.
Hey! Would you rather be attacked by one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
Okay, okay. I think I would have to go with the horse-sized duck.
Are you crazy?
Well, it just seems like it would be easier to manage. You've just got one thing to fight.
No, you got to go with the mini horses. I get a load of them carrot stick bags from McDonald's. We'd have a great time.
Jesus. How was your day?
Small talk. I'll oblige. It's been okay, thanks. I woke up, had some cereal.
What cereal?
Cookie Crisp. And I went to the shops. Returned from the shops, did some writing, and now I'm on a date with you.
It's a wild day. How's your book going?
You know, it's been better.
Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Like, just because we've got more free time now, it doesn't mean that you should force productivity.
Yeah. So, now your turn. How's your day been?
Do you want the honest answer or the first date answer?
Honest. Always.
Okay. So I was actually gonna end things, like everything, this morning. But then I saw your message and I thought, what's one more day? May as well see what this dude is like first.
I'm really glad you didn't. I was in that kind of place last year. Before this whole shit show, actually.
You never mentioned anything when we were texting.
Neither did you.
So we're both fuck ups then?
I guess our brains just aren't as easy breezy.
Ugh, that would be so nice. Just one easy breezy day, please.
Yeah. It's tough. But I guess, well, I think anyway that life would be boring if it was easy.
You sound like an Instagram post.
That's honestly what I think. You don't agree?
Well, I'd like to. Like, I agree in theory, but in practice, it's a bit more complicated than that.
Yeah. You're right. Well, trying is doing something.
You're gonna invoice me after this, aren't you?
Now, can I be honest with you?
Of course.
I'm currently in my pajamas. stand up a second. Trust me. Come on.
You better not be requesting that striptease now. That is low, dude.
Trust me?
No.
Fine.
What the hell are you doing?
DMT. Dance Movement Therapy.
You do fucking dance therapy.
Just do it. Don't make me embarrass myself alone.
What the hell are you even doing there?
You're in so much killer mood.
Oh, I'm so sorry. What the fuck is even the meaning of life?
There isn't one?
That sucks.
Well, I mean, there isn't just one meaning. Not a set one. We have to create our own.
Who are you?
Just one of your Tinder dudes.
Yeah. Just a guy on a screen.
Well, this is a bit unfair, isn't it?
What?
But yeah, I finally meet you, and it's through a bloody screen.
I've finished my strawberries.
Do you have any more?
I don't think so. Sorry.
That's a shame.
Might have some ice cream though.
Wanna watch a film with me?
With you?
Yeah. We'll hit play it on Netflix at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds nice.
Okay. I'll let you choose.
Okay. Have you seen?
Gonna see you right again. 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 Gonna see you right again.
And there we have it. I'd be remiss, actually, to not mention, so thank you all for hanging out with us and joining us here for this world premiere of Kristen Brookman's second offering. Before we get on to the questions with the guys, I'd be remiss. I always like to give people a look behind the curtain. So Kristen and I have just been chilled. We've got no problems. We could just chill in the background. But I'd be remiss to let you know that our two stars, Tom and Penny, that wasn't easy, was it, guys? to watch
I felt
and
bad.
hear yourself.
Not really, no, not really. I don't think any had to like watching the performance back, did they?
You were better than Tom, Penny, at dealing with that, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
How was it for you, Penny?
I just hate the way my voice sounds. That's the only thing. I mean, because obviously I've got an amazing face, but I mean,
You do.
my voice I hate it. I sound like a child.
No, you guys should be proud. It was amazing performances.
Likewise with you, KB. So, everyone, thank you for hanging out with us. We have live now with you writer and director Kristen Brookman and our 2 stars, Tom Lewin and Penelope Yeulet. So, guys, let's all have a cheer.
on your own, CK.
Deeply embarrassing.
You did it for all of us.
Wow, I feel like I should leave. Anyway, listen. Well done, Kristen. How did that feel to have that playing out live?
It felt good. I hope people liked it. I was a bit stressful because I'm doing all the techie bits behind the scenes. But yeah, I mean, thanks everyone for leaving your nice comments. I'm glad you all enjoyed it. I saw Jess she said, if you find the meaning of life, let her know. Like, we haven't found it yet, but the character seemed to have a good opinion on it.
Well, there's been this has been, compared to usual, Kristen, there's been like a super rapid turnaround for this project in terms of idea to casting to filming and to releasing. Like, compared to, for argument's sake, I don't know, Uninspired Moments, your debut short, the turnaround to this has been an absolute fraction of that, right?
Yeah, I maybe set myself a bit of a short deadline. I knew I had an idea somewhere, and I started writing a script, and I had a few different things before I decided on this premise. But yeah, I'd already set myself a deadline. I mean, tomorrow is World Suicide Prevention Day, so I had today in mind. I wanted to do it before the day, and hopefully, if anything comes out of it, people might be encouraged to talk to each other and things. So it was quite important to me to do it today. So I guess that only gave me the motivation to get it done and get it done quickly. And thankfully, Penny and Tom were very, very accommodating, and we managed to pull something together.
So the first thing then, Kristen, was I want to write something that explores suicidal thoughts. That literally the first nugget of the concept. I
mean, actually, not really. I think what happened, I watched a Zoom play. I mentioned to you before, a theatre in America did their own Zoom play, and I just thought it was amazing, and it felt like I had been to the theatre that evening kind of thing, and the actors were so brilliant. I think they actually braved it live, which I was a bit scared of, but yeah, so I think I wanted to do that, and I wanted to do it in the current time, and sort of I wanted to explore mental health in some way, and because I know it's been very impactful at the moment in the current situation. So I think that's kind of where it started, and then yeah, I saw about World Suicide Prevention Day and things like that, and I just wanted like a female character as well that was quite fearless and frank and honest, and I mean, you can't get much more honest than that, really. So yeah, it was interesting to me to kind of explore that.
Well, I mean, talk us through the writing process then, in terms of, okay, I am now committing to writing this short play. How long between that thought to, here it is, my short play about suicidal thoughts? What was that gap between the two?
Oh my gosh. I have no idea. I can't remember. I contacted Tom quite early on because initially I had an idea of a younger guy talking to like his granddad or something, just because I quite like the age disparity, but I did similar to that in my first short film, so I changed it up in the end. I don't know when I contacted you, Tom. It was not massively long ago, maybe a month or two.
Yeah, maybe a month or two.
Yeah, it was quite a quick turnaround, yeah, but I'm sorry, I have no idea. It's been a whirlwind.
So you contacted Tom very early into the script, like the script hadn't necessarily been completed.
Yeah, probably too early.
Okay, but you did have some words on the page ahead of contacting Tom, right?
I might not have even had words on the page, which is terrible. That's so like unprofessional. But Tom, I saw Tom post a show reel or something on Twitter, and I knew I'd really love to work with him. And I mean, Tom's based in Manchester and I'm down in Basingstoke in Hampshire, so I guess in any other situation it might not have been possible. But yeah, he was very, and Penny as well, they were very accommodating and bared with me as I worked through the script, and very supportive, yeah.
So, Tom, you have been very vocal in saying that the minute Kristen reached out to you and gave you the rough outline for the story, you were all over it. Tell us a little bit more about what it was about the story that appealed to you.
Yeah, so basically, for me, I think it's, like you've touched on, Kristen, with COVID, it's just one of those times where I think everybody is mentally, I mean, unprepared, because we don't know what it is, we don't know how long it's going on for, we don't really know what's going to happen. And I feel that everyone's in that situation, regardless of who they are and where they come from. But for me, with mental health and with suicide, that it strikes a big chord, because for me, I've got personal sort of connection to that for myself, but through friends and colleagues that I've worked with, and it's something that's a very important subject. And I feel that, and as well, me being a man, I feel like I have to talk about, you know, men and suicide within men. Although obviously it's between men and women, everyone. But for men, I think that, you know, it's hard enough to talk anyway. And I feel like this is a subject.
Men take up something like 75% of suicide is men. So yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Yeah, so there must be some. I mean, it's stereotyping a bit, but maybe they don't feel as comfortable to talk or something. But yeah, you're definitely right. It's a real issue.
Yeah, I just think that it's maybe it's to do with, I don't know what it is, I'm not a psychologist, but for me, I'm just, from my point of view, I think that certainly in school and stuff, and with your mates and stuff, it's not something that you do, is just talk about your feelings and stuff. And I feel that that needs to change, because clearly the statistics show that it's you know, heavily affecting men of all ages. And especially for me, if one of my closest friends, and actually I'm trying to streamline it, I'm going all over the place, but
No,
I haven't been home for about 2 years recently to see all my best mates, three lads, and every single one of them were at school were the most confident, most sort of hardy sort of guys. Nothing could really knock them. And I went back and found out that one of them had been on antidepressants for 2 years, and he's contemplated, you know, taking his life, and really, you know, things that I had no idea about. And he's my best mate, and he didn't tell me because he didn't want to burden me with that. It's things like that which, you know, really just shock you and open your eyes to the problem that it is. But, so that's, for me, that was the personal sort of connection, where I just really wanted to do it. You know, reading the script even more so, because I feel like it's not a heavy theme in it, but it is definitely there. And when you do see it, hopefully, you know, we do it justice in the sense that you know, you have that moment in it where you see these both characters be affected by the same thing, and they didn't know that each other were, and it's really, I think it's a really powerful moment. So it's really, really well written. It's down to you, Kristen.
Oh, thanks. That's very kind.
It's really nice.
I concur. And Penny, I want to bring you in a second and just discuss when you became attached to the project. Just very briefly, Kristen, Tom's just outlined his own personal attachment to the subject matter. Did you have any, or were you writing more from, I don't know, imagination, if you like?
Yeah, more from like an outside perspective. Yeah, I'm very thankful to not have any personal experience with it or anyone I know. But I just find it, I can kind of empathize. I mean, I struggle a bit with my mental health personally, and I can empathize, and it's heartbreaking. That's like the worst point someone can get to, and I find it heartbreaking. And so I wanted to deal with it. I knew I wasn't. I always think you should write what you know. So I wanted to make sure I did kind of research and did it justice and things like that, and hopefully I did. That's why I kept it kind of subtle and things. But yeah, I guess I can empathize with people like that. So I find it the most heartbreaking thing. Yeah.
And Penny, did the script come to you fully complete?
So Kristen did send me the sort of like the first version of it, well, the first version that she sent to me anyway, and basically said, read through it. If you've got any thoughts or any comments about your character, just kind of note them down. So when I was going through it, like I just instantly fell in love with her, just because of her sort of brashness and how bold she is, and to actually have a female character that is a three-dimensional character was very nice. So I just kind of read through it a couple of times and made a few notes of the sort of things that I thought maybe she would say, or maybe things that would broaden her a bit, so you could kind of see a bit more of who she was.
And was the brashness and boldness, was that appealing to you because you can relate to that, or was it one of those cases where it's an actor's dream because they're playing someone outside of themselves?
I don't really know. Like, I probably don't think I am that, but then other people probably say that I am.
I think you're a badass. That's why I knew you'd be so good for it. I don't know, just seeing you had a clip at the top of your Twitter, and I was like, yes, she's perfect.
What do you think? Is that fair comment? Is that fair comment, Penny? Are you badass?
Yeah, she
I'm
is.
just trying to play coy. I'm a gobby little thing. I think that's probably what it comes down to.
Is the best way to be.
So in terms of, I mean, this is one of those awkward situations when I can't even give the character a name because for God's sake, Kristen didn't, so why should I? It's like
I apologise. Yeah, they're just called him and her. What more do you need?
Yeah. So when you were reading hers backstory, or indeed the words on the page, Penny, is that the heaviest? I don't know. Is that the heaviest life situation you've had to portray, or have you explored those dark areas before in previous roles?
I have kind of been able to explore that stuff before. So I did a short film a long while ago that was about sort of psychosis and the hallucinating and all of those sort of like psychological issues. But this one, because of what it was about, because of when it was as well, that there's a particular element that I really liked in the script that we haven't sort of talked about yet, and I don't think I've even mentioned it to Kristen, that really made me love it and want to do it, which was that there was this like element of hopefulness, like there was something that kind of came out of it, of this like shining light of hope, that we should be able to get to the point where people have conversations that are like this, that are this open and this frank, if somebody says, I've been having these thoughts, like, do you actually want my honest answer? Here it is. I've been having these thoughts. And then the other person just goes, yeah, okay, I have as well, actually. I've gone through that stuff. And there's no judgment or sort of any recoiling or anything there.
That I mean, I don't know if you want to jump in with some blushing there, Kristen, I think.
that was very nice, yeah. I'm really glad you took away from that, because I know it is technically a story about where people talk about suicide, and sometimes I worry that can give people the wrong preconception of it. I mean, I didn't want it to be a doom and gloom story. I wanted it to be sort of hopeful, yeah, despite, like, because I think in real life you can talk about dark things like that and it doesn't have to be doom and gloom. It's just talking about it, and then after that you kind of, yeah, I'm glad you got hope from it. That's very nice to hear.
Well, optimism and hope have become a signature of yours. You and I have discussed this.
Do you think
at
so?
length.
Oh,
you
God.
and I have discussed this at length, though, Kristen. Like, you know, you often tackle issues which can be a little bit, I don't know, and deep, if you like. But you always like to sprinkle a lot of optimism and hope on top. And you know, we've discussed, you know, you're not a big fan of heavy-handedness.
Yeah, I try my best to. I realised that the other day. I think what I do is I come up with kind of cheesy ideas, and then I try and water it down as much as I can to make it as least cheesy as possible, maybe. I don't really know what my process is, but yeah, I like stories like that. I don't ever want to do depressing story just to bum people out. I want it to be sort of brave enough to talk about these kind of subjects, but then I like that Penny said hopefulness. Yeah, I guess that's what it is, an optimism. And as you always say, I try and do it in a non-syrupy way. Not always, but I try my best.
So let's talk, because obviously this film is a product of lockdown. So I'm curious from your point of view, Tom and Penny, how was it to perform an act in a situation where you're meeting remotely? Because I'm guessing you guys are used to meeting humans and you can actually touch their flesh. I'm sure you don't touch, but you see my point. So how was that for you guys when you were meeting for the first time remotely and you had to strike up that chemistry? Because obviously there's a relationship between both characters that predates when they have that meeting. So how was it meeting digitally and trying to cultivate a relationship and chemistry between you?
He's going to be a gent and let
So
you go
it.
first.
I think we didn't really speak too much before the actual recording, which was, I think, actually worked well, because it was more sort of when we did start recording that it was that kind of shock that they would have had, you know. So maybe it's the more realism of it. I don't know. I might have stopped me if I'm completely talking rubbish, Penny. I don't know if it's the same.
No, I thought the same, Tom. I thought,
Yeah.
I mean, I was a bit worried. I was like, all three of us, all four of us, I guess, literally haven't ever met each other in person, which is so strange. I hadn't even spoken to Tom on the phone or anything before this. But I thought, I tried not to kind of let that worry me. And I thought, yeah, exactly as you said, the characters, they've been texting, but they were meeting for the first time. So I guess it can only serve the story in a way. It worked out well.
And I mean, obviously, because we're both incredible actors.
You are! you say that with sarcasm. You are. Everyone agrees in the comments. There's some questions in the comments, by the way. Did you want me to read some out?
Jump in, Kristen.
Wait, let me have a look. Thank you guys for staying with us, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Nathan said, one take wonder, ? And this was one take. This was the final take that we did. We were really on a Zoom call. You can probably tell by the quality and things like that, but it keeps it real, hey? But it was one take, and Penny and Tom smashed it. I mean, we did kind of advertise this as a play, so that's what it ended up as, and it worked out really well, I thought. Shall I carry on? Wait, let's have a look. Someone said, will this be available on YouTube later? We were discussing this before. I think so, yes. It should stay up on my YouTube for, I'm not sure how long. It depends what we do with it afterwards, but yeah, it will be on my YouTube for a little while afterwards. And a couple of people say, is this going to be a longer play / cool? Will be cool to see what happens afterwards, and will you be making more of these kind of things in the future? I mean, I really like the chemistry between you guys, so maybe we'll have to do a sequel. Who knows? I don't know where you can go from here. It will just be a domestic kind of relationship, maybe. I was going to ask you guys this. Do you reckon they get together or not?
You think, Penny?
Because I don't even know what I think.
I don't know. I can't really see them as being the type of people that would carry on as with a normal run-of-the-mill relationship.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
they were to stay together, because I think they've got a strong enough sort of connection there that they would definitely stay in contact, whether that is in a sort of romantic sense or not. But I don't know if they would run off into the sunset to get married and have 2 babies.
Yeah, you're right. It would be quite unconventional. Yeah, it would be interesting. Maybe I have to think about it. Did you say Lauren Perte? Does anyone know that? I'm sorry if I said that wrong. She asked, how on earth did you do that in one take? Penny and Tom, I mean, they smashed it. It's not much more than that, is it? And we also said that the characters are on a Zoom call, so if anything went wrong, like the sound cut out or anything, then I think I said just go with it. I mean, it ended up working out fine, but yeah. And someone says, how did you find directing over Zoom and video? I mean, I can let you guys answer that if you want. How did you find it being directed over Zoom? I didn't do a lot.
I think you did. I think you definitely directed it. It was just simple. I think we all worked together really well, and it just came together, luckily, really well without any major hiccups. To be honest, that's the process.
Yeah, we did all right. We did all right. You asked me this the other day, CK, and I said I didn't really do a lot of directing because when they would talk, I would turn my camera and mic off, and so it would feel like they're really talking to each other. And then I'd pop up again at the end, and most of the time I didn't even have any notes. Especially we did a bit of a rehearsal, and we sort of fine-tuned a few things, and then when we actually recorded it, I mean, it was perfect every time. So I didn't do a major amount, so it worked out nice and easy in the end.
Well, I think she's being modest by saying that, because it wouldn't have been that situation, and the rehearsal wouldn't have been as like streamlined and smooth as it was if the script and the direction within the script and the characters hadn't been so like clear, because the way that it had been written and the way that we'd spoken about it in rehearsal and the way that we'd spoken about it beforehand over email or WhatsApp or Twitter or whatever it was such a clear vision, I think, that I don't want to speak on both of our behalves, Tom, but for me anyway, it was so clear who the character was and exactly what it was going to be like, that's probably what you mean when you're saying there's got a great deal of direction.
Oh, thank you. That's very nice of you. Yeah,
it was a groundwork.
Oh, thanks. I tried to prepare it well, but yeah, I mean, Penny mentioned earlier that she gave lots of great notes on her character and things, so a lot of the lines you hear from Penny's character she wrote herself, kind of thing, and I wanted it to be as collaborative as possible, and I mean, I had two actors that were very accommodating to me, so it was all very stress-free and worked out very well.
One thing I'm curious, so obviously we watched a certain take. Mm-hmm. How many takes, because you did film a few takes and you had the joy of being able to pick your favourite, I guess. I think you mentioned to me, KB, like there was a couple of takes before the one that we all watched just now. Yeah,
I think we only did 2 or 3. I mean, I think we did like 3 or 4 takes total, and this one you saw was the very last take. And I'm a terrible director because I kept apologising and saying, "Can we just do it one more time?" And I felt bad because it was so repetitive. But then I think Penny's husband was like, "You've only done 2 takes," and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's true." But I felt bad making him do it over and over, and also because I didn't have any notes each time, so we were just kind of doing it for the sake of it, just to I don't know, keep it safe. So yeah, but we only did like 3 or 4, and this one was the last one. I can see my friends trolling me in the comments. Nathan said amazing performance with Kristen's dad watching over them. So basically, I stole my dad's Zoom account, and I thought I'll turn my camera off and my mic whilst they're talking, not realizing that a big old photo of my dad is going to come up. But so it didn't really help. And then my dad saying, "Do you get your talents from your father?" Even if I did, I wouldn't admit it, Dad. So it can't feed your ego anymore.
I've got a nerdy actor question, because I'm genuinely fascinated with acting, and the older I get, the more difficult I realise that it is. And I'm curious, from your perspective, Penny and Tom, and more specifically Penny, when you actually share that truth that you've been thinking about suicide, do you find that the more times you have to act something that's that emotionally driven, the harder, like to summon up that emotion authentically, does it get difficult if you have to keep redoing it time and time again?
Like yes and no, because if you think from the character's perspective, that sort of can aid with the performance as well, because this isn't the first time that she's thought these thoughts. And it's just the first time that she's possibly vocalised it to another person. So having that thought and going through that emotional turmoil, she'd have done it 1,000 times before, because she's been living with this for such a long time, that actually doing it again and again in a performance is just like, well, this is just what the character goes through day to day. I I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, you're right.
That's a great answer that I would have never had the intelligence to actually consider myself.
Yeah, that
So,
is very intelligent.
bravo. Bravo. Tom, how do you feel about when it comes to replaying deeply emotional scenes? Like, do you find... Because I can imagine if it was me, by the way, just backstory, I did do like drama and theatre studies at school and college, and I binned it off at uni.
No way.
But I'm the kind of guy that I'd want to nail it first time, possibly second. But if you're going to ask me to do it fifth or sixth, I'll do it, but I can't guarantee it'll be great. I don't know how you feel about that, Tom.
Yeah, and I completely understand that. You don't want to go to a place where it's quite difficult and taxing on your mind and your body, I think, more than 10 times, really. But, you're an actor, you got to do it. And I think if I was to think of like a past experience where I had to play a heroin addict, and it's touching on it briefly, it was basically a very sort of, we had a female playing heroin, basically, throughout the film. It's my girlfriend. But there was a lot of sort of psychological sort of terror for my character going on, and it actually one day, long shoot days as well, but it really did affect me. Constantly being in this place of where he was, where he was in the sense of just all the dread and all the negative stuff that comes with that. Obviously, and as well as obviously relating to this with suicidal thoughts, it's going to that place is not nice. And I think that it's just acting, yes, but I think you have to relate to it in some way. You have to understand it, and just that alone is quite taxing for me as an actor. But that's why I want to do it, because I want to tell stories. I want to tell these stories. I prefer these sort of gritty stories because it's real and it's dark sometimes. But I like to tell these stories myself. But yeah, if that's answered it for you.
Yeah, that's
Well,
amazing.
it absolutely has answered it, mate. Thank you for your perspective. I don't know, Kristen, if there's any other questions in the comments that you want to address before we...
Well, Tom kind of answered this one partly. Your friend
I will
Penny.
be back.
Oh, okay. Penny, your friend Martina said, "How does it feel playing people that are going through / been through those dark emotions? Is it hard to step back to your usual self? And does the uplifting potential of the ending feel you didn't need to?" Don't know how you feel about that.
I think it's really one of the most difficult things I find when you're sort of performing something like this, or when you're getting to know a character that goes through stuff like this and goes to a place like suicidal thoughts, and is obviously going through something that is quite dark and draining, that you have to be really careful with getting the separation between yourself and them, and to try and not take it home with you, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like people, you don't want to take your office job home with you. You don't really want to be carrying that character with you, but then you end up getting wrapped up with yourself and the character are sort of enmeshed together anyway, because you can't stop being you, no matter how much you're performing and acting. There is still the essence of you in there.
Yeah.
So it's really difficult to get that balance, but it's really important, because otherwise it could have detrimental effects.
Yeah, I think it's amazing.
Yeah, that's very well put, Penny. Just to touch lightly on it, I think that, like you said, you are you at the end of the day, and I feel like you do need to be able to relate to it and put yourself into it, but at the same time to step back. When you've done, but when you're doing it every single day, if it's a shoot that's going on a week, it's very difficult. That's your world every single day, and it's very difficult to step out from that. But I think that your character, especially, it's like you had that moment. I think she went into the moment. I saw it obviously myself. Looking into your eyes when you went through that moment, and luckily for her, it seems like on her journey, she could pull herself out again and then remain sort of constant in the conversation. But that's just me speaking for you and for your character. But I think that that moment was really nice, and I think it was enough of to sort of show how she felt.
That was a tough moment, and Penny got it exactly right. I think the sort of cautiousness with what she's about to say, but also she's also at a point where she doesn't really care anymore, so she comes out and says it. I thought you did that moment perfectly, Penny, because that was hard to pull off.
Okay, you were all waiting for me, looking quizzically, right?
Yeah, we are.
Kristen, have you now exhausted all the questions in the comments box?
I think so. I'm sorry if I did miss any, but yeah, I think so.
Well, I mean, thank you all for adding your comments and thoughts and opinions and staying and hanging out with us throughout this. Tom, Penny, bravo. It's been an absolute joy meeting and chatting with you guys over the last week or so. I hope you are proud of the finished product. Chris, I think you should be. I'm sure Kristen thinks you should be as well.
Yeah, definitely. And thanks for joining this, by the way, because I know it's not the most comfortable situation for actors to watch themselves, but you should be mega proud. I mean, you saved this project, and I mean, I couldn't have asked for two better people to work with.
And moving forward, there is a link in the comments box, right, Kristen, where people can maybe throw a few pennies towards.
Yeah, I may just post it in the chat again, but in the description of the video, you should be able to click a little drop-down arrow. There's a link. Do you mean the fundraiser, right? That's where you were headed. Sorry, I cut you off. Yeah, there's a fundraiser. We're fundraising on Just Giving for CALM, Campaign Against Living Miserably. As I said, it's World Suicide Prevention Day tomorrow, so and CALM do really fantastic work in aid of suicide prevention and that movement. So yeah, if you have any spare pennies, then please do donate to that.
I would also like to encourage folk to, I don't know if you can, Kristen, but if you pop down some Twitter links to Tom and Penny and yourself,
Yeah,
obviously,
good shout.
in the description box. I'd love to encourage everybody to go and hang out with those two fine people, including Kristen as well, and just maybe share the video. I don't know whether there's going to be a link where people can share the film, Kristen, as well. That'd be nice if I could tweet about it as well.
Yeah, I'll see. I'll try and get a link after this saves. It should save to my YouTube. So yeah, I'm sure. I mean, if you look out for us on Twitter, my Twitter is ChristyMint, and I will be spamming you with lots of stuff, I'm sure. So I'm sure that you'll find a link somewhere. You got to follow CK as well. You got to give you a shout out too.
Yeah, well, they can if they wish. They can if they wish. But do you, Kristen, have any final thoughts? Anything you'd like to close with?
Oh my God! Don't give me that pressure. It is. I choose to be behind the camera. This isn't fair. I guess just thank you very much for everyone that's joined, and thank you for sort of being interactive in the comments and stuff. It's been really special to do it live, and we're glad it had an impact, hopefully, and we hope you liked it, and we're happy to be doing it for a good cause as well. I mean, I just want to say thank you to you guys as well, because as I say, this is all for charity. No one's getting paid here. Everyone's done it just off their own accord, and not only that, they've been mega accommodating as well. So thank you, all three of you. CK as well, thanks for doing this. Smashed it, our Q&A host.
Always a pleasure, mate. Always a pleasure, an absolute pleasure. Thanks for asking.
Honestly, you've been such a massive help in the whole project as well, so thank you very much. I'll let you do a proper closing, because I don't want that pressure.
All right, well, I feel like I've said everything that's necessary. Do you, Tom and Penny, do you have any final thoughts you'd like to throw in?
The same again. Thank you for everyone watching, whether it's now during the live recording or possibly in the future. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Shall I end it there?
Go for it.
Thank you so much, everyone, and yeah, I'll keep this up on my YouTube for a bit if you want to tell your friends. So thanks so much. Thanks. Guys.
See ya.